There are moments when your soul becomes quiet, not because you're at peace, but because you ran out of words. And in that quiet place, God has been speaking healing you didn't know how to ask. There are seasons where strength feels thin, where hope feels fragile, where emotions settle in your chest without a clear name. You don't fall apart. You don't explode. You simply become quiet. Quiet. 'Cause you're tired. Quiet. 'Cause the same battles keep returning. Quiet. Because you no longer know what to pray. And somewhere inside, you whisper silently, I don't even know what to say anymore. Listen. God heard that. God felt that. God stepped into that moment before you even realized how overwhelmed you were. Romans 8:26 says, the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. Meaning this: when your words stop, heaven begins to speak for you. But life doesn't show that easily. Life makes you believe that if you're quiet, you're distant. If you're tired, you're failing. If you're silent, God is silent too. But that is not your truth. Your silence is not emptiness. It is God's invitation. Listen. There are hurts He never talked about, because speaking them felt like reliving them. There are moments you skipped past emotionally, because stopping to feel felt dangerous. There are wounds from people you loved deeply, and disappointments that came from places where you expected safety. Pain like that doesn't always break loudly. Sometimes it breaks in small pieces, right behind your calm expression. And God saw every piece. He saw the moment your heart sank. Without anyone noticing, He saw the moment you pretended to be okay. Even when something inside you was quietly unraveling. He saw the nights you laid still because your mind refused to rest. He saw the questions you didn't dare ask. And He stepped into all of it without waiting for you to explain anything. Listen. God does not heal only what you speak out loud. He heals what lives quietly inside you. He heals what you avoid. He heals what you minimize. He heals what you don't understand. He heals what you don't know how to express. And sometimes, the deepest healing begins in the moments when you finally stop trying to hold everything together alone. Psalm 34:17 says, the righteous cry out and the Lord hears them. But God also hears the cries you never spoke. He hears silence as clearly as prayer. Listen. You've walked through seasons where you loved people who didn't love you back the same way. You stayed loyal to people who didn't see your heart. You carried responsibilities that drained you slowly. You pushed through days that wore you out emotionally. And through all of it, you kept going. People saw your strength. God saw your exhaustion. People saw your patience. God saw your breaking point. People saw your smile. God saw your ache. And because he saw all of it, he decided to speak healing into places you never voiced. Listen. Not all healing begins with courage. Sometimes it begins with collapse. Sometimes healing begins when you finally admit, God, I don't know what to do anymore. And instead of judgment, he answers with presence. Instead of pressure, he answers with peace. Instead of disappointment, he answers with understanding, because he is not a distant God. He is a God who meets you at the level of your silence. Isaiah 30:15 says, in quietness and trust is your strength. Your silence is not failure. It is where God rebuilds you. Listen. There are parts of you God is healing right now that you haven't even realized needed healing. The fear beneath your confidence, the loneliness beneath your independence, the disappointment beneath your hope, the weariness beneath your responsibilities, the unresolved sadness beneath your smile. He is touching layers you've lived with for years. Layers you thought were just part of you now. But God is saying, this is not your forever. Listen. You're stepping into a season where God is restoring clarity. Where confusion lived, he is restoring confidence. Where insecurity grew roots, he is restoring joy. Where numbness settled, he is restoring peace. Where anxiety stole your breath, he is restoring strength. Where silence made you feel small, and he is restoring your voice. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady and healed. A voice that knows God never needed perfect prayers in order to respond. A voice that knows heaven interceded even when you couldn't speak. A voice that knows your quiet moments were never empty. They were holy. Listen. God is not asking you to pray louder. He's asking you to rest deeper, because he is the one carrying what your heart has been holding alone. He's the one speaking what your soul didn't know how to say. He's the one healing wounds you stopped acknowledging. He's the one filling silence with restoration. And he is the one reminding you gently when you had no words left. I spoke healing into your silence. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so this devotional can reach someone who feels too quiet, too tired, or too overwhelmed to pray out loud tonight. And if you feel led, comment, "God is healing my silence." May His peace find you today.